The day I broke and began again. That morning felt like a movie scene. Sunlight spilled through the white curtains, dust glimmered in the air, and my room felt alive with soft music and laughter in my head. Everything was perfectly arranged, my bed neatly made, makeup lined up on the dresser, and my new white dress hanging like a promise. The scent of my perfume drifted gently in the air, mixing with the bright morning light. I remember glancing at the mirror and thinking that maybe, just maybe, this would be the day I finally felt seen. That image of me standing there, glowing with hope, would stay in my mind, though by the end of the day, it would mean something entirely different. I stared at my dress. It shimmered softly, catching the light each time I moved. It wasn't just fabric to me, but it felt like armor, a symbol of who I was trying to become. White, clean, untainted. It was the color of beginnings, of forgiveness. As I zipped it up, I felt powerful, as if I could step out into the world and leave behind all the bad things that had ever happened to me. But the moment I checked my phone, that illusion shattered. The cruel message from my uncle cut through the calm like glass breaking. Each word was heavy and unforgettable, and suddenly, the dress didn't feel like armor anymore. It felt like a lie. If someone had seen me then, maybe my mother, quietly opening the door, she would have found me lying on the floor in my white dress, eyes fixed on the ceiling. To her, it might have looked like I was simply resting, lost in thought after a long morning. She might have thought I was tired, that I had drifted off into a moment of silence. But if she had stepped closer, she would have seen the truth hiding in the stillness. She would have noticed how my eyes didn't move, how tears streamed slowly into my hair, soaking into the wooden floor, and each one washing away the version of me who always tried to please others. She might have seen the faint tremble in my fingers or the uneven rhythm of my breath. From the outside, I looked numb, almost peaceful, but inside, everything was loud. My thoughts clashed and tangled, replaying every cruel word I had ever received, every hurt I had ever tried to forget. It was strange, feeling everything and nothing all at once, like being awake in a nightmare you can't escape from. I stared at the cake for a long time, the candle still unlit. Its pink frosting, once so cheerful, looked almost too bright against the dull afternoon light. The air around it smelled of sugar and vanilla, sweet enough to sting. The longer I looked, the more the colors seemed to blur, the edges beginning to soften as the frosting started to melt. My dress clung to me. Its white fabric, damp and wrinkled, no longer glistening evenly like it had that morning. Beside the untouched cake, it looked strangely out of place. It's too fragile, too hopeful. I reached out once, tracing a fingertip along the rim of the plate, but even that small movement felt heavy. The silence stretched, and I could almost hear the faint drip of wax from candles that were never lit. Everything about that moment, the sweetness, the stillness, the ache, felt like a celebration that had already ended before it began. By nightfall, the sunlight that had filled my room in the morning had faded into a dim golden shadow. I sat again before the mirror, in the same spot where I had begun. My white dress was wrinkled now, my curls had fallen loose, and my eyes were swollen from crying. But this time, as I looked at myself, I didn't see a girl waiting for approval. I saw someone who had survived breaking. The same sunlight that once felt warm and innocent now looked different. It was softer, wiser, as if it too had changed with me. I began the day glowing with hope. I ended it glowing with truth. And in that reflection, I found the freedom I had been searching for all along.
Self-esteem, plainly, is a person's sense of self-worth, and it has long been one of the major focuses in psychology by reason of its strong interrelation and correlation to concepts such as mental health, behavior, and emotional well-being. As more systematic studies of self-esteem began surfacing, there also arose the need for a standard and reliable way to measure it. Prior to the creation of actual formal scales, assessments of self-esteem did not have much consistency, resulting in difficulty in comparing results across studies. This, in turn, led to the development by Maurice Rosenberg of Rosenberg's self-esteem scale in 1965, creating a tool that could measure self-esteem in a structured structured manner. The scale is a predominantly used psychological tool for self-esteem assessment because it provides a concise but accurate and dependable measure of global self-worth, demonstrates clear psychometric characteristics, and remains indispensable across a multitude of diverse research and clinical settings. The Rosenberg scale was created and developed for the establishment of a concise and accessible measure of overall self-esteem. It is composed of 10 items that use a Likert-style response format, allowing individuals to scale their acquiescence to certain questions from strongly agree to strongly disagree. In place of focusing on superficial areas of self-esteem such as academic aptitude or physical appearance, the scale hones in on a person's general sense of worthiness. Its straightforward verbiage and short length make it easy to apply in diverse environments, ranging from classrooms to clinical evaluations. Due to its simple structure, the RSES has been consistently examined for reliability and validity.
The RSS is frequently used in psychological research due to its ability to predict various psychological outcomes such as mental health, well-being, and academic achievement, according to Gupta 2025. Dr. Rosenberg developed the scale utilizing a sample of 5,025 high school students from 10 randomly selected schools in New York. The scale may be modified for a wide variety of studies, which has led to several translations and its application in numerous countries. Mental health professionals commonly use the scale to assess self-esteem in patients as a part of psychological assessment. It aids greatly in identifying issues correlated to depression, anxiety, and similar conditions wherein self-esteem is a big factor. Guidance counselors may also employ the scale to assess the self-esteem of students. This is to identify academic risks or social difficulties stemming from low self-esteem. The Rosenberg self-esteem scale has been proven to be versatile, evident in its employment not only in clinical contexts, but also in workplace well-being programs, public health programs, and research settings.
All in all, the Rosenberg self-esteem scale is to this day a key instrument for understanding global self-worth because of its easily understood structure, strong scientific backing, and continued relevance in both research and applied settings. Its marriage of simplicity and accuracy allows it to subsist as one of, if not the most lasting and trusted tool for measuring self-esteem.
The tool demonstrates strong psychometric properties such as high internal consistency, test-retest reliability, and has demonstrated validity, confirmed through tests in diverse populations and research contexts. The scale is highly versatile, allowing for employment in clinical, educational, and public health settings. Overall, the RSS continues to be a tool that allows for a meaningful, simple, and standardized method of assessing self-esteem across a wide array of domains and cultures. The tool not only provides users with reliable measurements of self-esteem, but also aids individuals and professionals in better understanding and supporting mental health. Understanding and improving one's self-esteem has been shown to be foundational in fostering resilience and growth, therefore showcasing the importance of tools such as the Rosenberg Self-Esteem Scale.
My first day at SISC. My first day at Southville International School and Colleges felt like stepping into a completely new chapter of my life. Exciting, overwhelming, and honestly, a little confusing. I remember arriving earlier than I needed to, hoping that being early would help me figure out where to go. But of course, the universe had its own plans. I stood outside, staring at the different entrances, unsure which one was actually meant for students. After a few minutes of awkwardly looking around and pretending to know where I was going, I realized that the real entrance was the small turn beside Hidden Shift. I laughed a little at myself, relieved but still nervous as I made my way inside. The first thing that greeted me was the elevator. Crowded, noisy, and absolutely intimidating. I didn't want to squeeze myself in, and honestly, I was so scared to use it on my first day. So, with pure determination and a little bit of I have no choice, I took the stairs all the way to the 4th floor. I kept telling myself that this would count as my exercise for the week. They told us that psychology was on the 5th floor, but when I reached the 4th, I learned that the whole floor above was still under renovation. We had to use a temporary room. The last room tucked somewhere at the back. It was so cold inside that I almost started shivering. But at least, I was finally in the right place. This was the part I was most nervous about, meeting my new blockmates. In high school, we called them classmates. But now, blockmates sounded so official and grown up. They started talking to me right away. And even though I was shy at first, I pushed myself to be talkative and friendly. Slowly, I felt myself adjusting, and I realized that maybe this new environment wouldn't be as scary as I imagined. Then, our professor walked in, Miss Chelsea Coventry. She was really pretty, in that classy, approachable way. And the moment she started speaking, I felt myself relax. She was warm, engaging, and she explained Introduction to Psychology so well. I found myself leaning forward, fascinated by what she was teaching. It surprised me because nursing had always been my first choice. I enrolled in psychology with hesitation and a bit of uncertainty. I wasn't sure if I'd truly enjoy the course until that class. After listening to Miss Chelsea, something in me shifted. I walked out of the classroom excited, curious, and genuinely interested in learning more about the human mind. After class, my blockmates invited me to McDonald's. Normally, I'm not the type to hang out immediately, especially with people I just met. But something told me to go. We sat together, laughed about our first day struggles, and shared bits and pieces of our lives. For the first time that day, I felt like I belonged. I felt like maybe I was exactly where I needed to be. Looking back, my first day at SISC wasn't perfect, but it was memorable. It was the day I got lost, climbed countless stairs, froze in an air-conditioned room, met new people, and unexpectedly fell in love with psychology. It was the day everything began.
In the Philippines, the Miss Universe competition is not just a televised event, but a sacred cultural ritual treated with intense engagement like a national election or a Manny Pacquiao fight. This national obsession, often noted as the most intense in the world, sparks an interesting debate. Is it beauty, brains, or bigotry? While the Miss Universe franchise remains controversial for various reasons, the Filipino devotion to the pageant is a serious and powerful expression of collective national aspiration and global validation. Firstly, the enthusiasm that there is in Miss Universe is the desire for global recognition and validation. For a country that has faced geopolitical and economical challenges throughout its history, the title of Miss Universe serves as a crucial shared moment of victory. When Pia Wurtzbach and Catriona Gray won on national TV, it was euphoric. That one specific moment, millions of Filipinos felt acknowledged and valid as a community. The contest is a huge non-political event wherein national identity is universally recognized and celebrated.
On the other hand, despite the unifying power, the pageant industry has been known to idolize or prioritize people with Eurocentric features. For years, a Filipino beauty queen preferred fair skin, sharp noses, and slender frames, reinforcing the damaging idea that beauty equates to Western or Eurasian features. The pressure makes women go under cosmetics and aesthetic surgery, which is centered on whitening and modification, suggesting that one must change their appearance to be considered a beautiful person. This furthers the pressure on contestants to go through expensive training camps and the obsession to be picture perfect. In conclusion, the love that the Philippines has for Miss Universe is deeper than what it seems to be. By treating the competition as a form of national sport, Filipinos translate their hopes for global fame into a cultural ritual of collective validation. For there to be change, people need to keep talking about the objectification and unrealistic standards of the beauty or pageant industry. Still, it is a culturally indispensable mechanism for articulating national aspiration and providing a safe platform for female leadership. What is more important, beauty or brains? It is a false dichotomy to assume one cannot coexist with the other. Therefore, through its queens, the nation proves it possesses both.